much involved in this Shell Sport Rally Championship. Alan, would you give us a little information on the inauguration, the start, and in fact the event today?
Well, Jackie, having just arrived in Carrick and Suir, I'm delighted to see the entry. I think it's fantastic. It must be the largest forest round entry in Ireland for a long time. And of course, it's the first round of an 8-round Shell Stages Championship, which will take the competitors to virtually all parts of the Republic of Ireland throughout the year. And it's a very encouraging start indeed. It's some very quick men out there. I'm looking forward to watching them.
Yes, indeed. I was just looking down the programme here, Alan. And have you heard that Mike Patterson unfortunately won't have the G3? You see that Barry Duggan came along and offered him this RS2?
I think that's fantastic, and it's really the spirit of Irish rallying that Mike has come all this distance as his misfortune. And Barry, from the, it must be the temple of rallying, Mill Street, comes along and offers his car. Great stuff.
Absolutely. Billy Coleman's area, and it's tremendous there. And this is the Willie Lockman Memorial, Alan, and I don't know if you have already been around the stages here in Doherty Forest.
No, I'm about to go agricultural in a minute or two, but I haven't seen them at all. But I've been told more or less where to go, so I hope I can find it. But who's going to win this one?
I was going to say the obvious one would be Mike Patterson, but it's completely different now. I would say, just looking down here, I think one of the Derry men, I can't see anybody beating this man from Derry. Although Joe McHale, we haven't seen him out this year yet. And if he has anything like the force he had last year, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Who do you think?
Well, I would have thought James Doherty or Hugh O'Brien. Those would be my two tips there. And look out for George Robinson too. He's very quick. And Frank Maher, I don't know how he goes in the loose, but he went very well in Galway. He had a fabulous run, Tipperary man there.
That's right. Well, he fought there, and that was a tremendous performance for Frankie Maher there. And the seed there, number one, see Eddie Flavin, he's leading in the Foley Championship at the moment.
Yes, Eddie won this event last year. Joe, as you mentioned, another very A.J. Keating, another excellent front runner, Ken Lyons, Billy Conley, must be amongst those lot, I think.
I think we get him in the first 10 anyhow. But I still want to write off Mike Patterson, even if he has an unknown car.
Yeah, Mike, of course, used to a lot more horsepower, but has quite a bit of experience. And is going to do an awful lot of rallying in Ireland this year. I think he's going to do not only the Shell Stages Championship, but he's also intending to do the FTP Tarmac Championship. So he'll become a native before the year's out.
That's very nice indeed. Thank you very much, Alan. So we're looking forward to seeing you up at the start and later on during the day. Well, that's word the whistle from Alan Tyndall there, just before we call the competitors for the start here in Carrick and Suir. Thank you very much.
Frank Maher, this is, in lying second in his RS 1800 in the Foley Championship. Undoubtedly a man to watch in the future, had a superb run in Galway.
Get in the car, John, and that was very fast and very neat indeed.
Sean Murphy, the Dublin driver, very experienced rally driver, both at National 11 and International. RS2000 rose it in and really learning the forest technique. There should be Ken Lyons in the RS 1800. Very swift motor car indeed, and of course a car that was absolutely bred in the forest. A little bit more gently through that one than some of the predecessors. This is the second round of the Foley Championship, and Liam McGrath is expected now, and Dennis Jackson from Mitchelstown, and their escort are lying in 4th position after the Clonmel round. In fact, not the man we thought, but Peter McCullough and Noel Daly from Maynooth being reseeded. Liam McGrath at last comes up, not running in order on these early stages, and getting it very nicely through. A little bit slow through the left-hander though. And surely one of the hot tips for this event, James Doherty in the HSR Chevette with the Tara Oil sponsorship. Probably a little bit quicker than it looked. Escort approaching us very quickly. But it's not the Toyota number 11 of George Robinson, who has changed his entry from the Vauxhall Chevette. Now this should be one of the hard luck stories of the event already, because it should have been Mike Patterson in his own G3 Escort, the Englishman, who came here with the car, but unfortunately it let him down, and through the very generous offer of Barry Duggan, he has managed to borrow this Escort and is just getting used to it. Frank Waters and Tom Callahan, the Dublin crew and their Avenger. And you saw him slowing the car there by putting it sideways before he came into the corner. Local New Ross man expected shortly should be Dick Bailey in his Escort. Really coming quite slowly into this one. Obviously not too used to the forests. Vincent Meade, the Cantark man, normally sits in the passenger seat to Richie Healy, but here he is out enjoying himself in his own car. A 1998 cc Escort. Well, as the forest's all ready to get a little bit cut off, number 70, John O'Connor, who lost one of the Vauxhall HSR Chevettes, coming very fast in now. This should be John Kennedy from the north of Ireland. A comparative newcomer to rallying, and with a very powerful car there. The other Opel Cadet, and this belongs to another man from Carrick and Suir, Joe Butler. Jimmy and John Lambert, another local crew, approaching very fast indeed in their Escort. Looks like Tom Fitzpatrick and Joe O'Brien, another Carrick and Suir crew. Let's give it a bit of a Number 24, John Hennessy and Robert Kennedy. From Glenmore, the old Mark I Escort, said by many to sometimes be a little bit stronger than the Mark II. RS 1800 of Peter McCullough, and it looks like there's damage. No, in fact it's not. It's the northern crew in the Opel who have already possibly had some kind of contact there. And they were late entries. That's Drew. Well, when we finally got that all sorted out, we discovered it was Ian Greer in the Opel that had the bonnet flapping there. Now another car approaching us very fast indeed, a Mark I Escort this time. It's, one of the late entries, number 97. The Sunbeam of George Drew, sponsored by Southern Chemicals, and the later runners now having trouble with the track getting a bit cut up. We're expecting Waterford driver Eamon Murphy and his escort to be with us now. Number 28, and that's indeed who it is, Christy Kerwin alongside him, and that was very adventurous. Well, this is a very important man, John Hackett, who organises the new Foley Championship, and here he is out enjoying himself thoroughly in his Fiat 128 with John Kerry alongside him. Front-wheel drive, of course, and after the first round lying first in Class B in that championship. In the distance we see Richie Curran, again from Carrick and Suir, and the man who's lying first in Class C in the Foley Championship. And somebody who obviously enjoys throwing the tail of his little escort about. A serious bother. Having stopped down here, the Avenger, we're just trying to work out who that could possibly be. And obviously the car cutting out at him. And he's in a rather dangerous position on the outside of this corner, obviously another runner, and the spectators warning him of the approach of another car who comes very sideways into view. Number 56 going through extremely quickly indeed, and the 51 it was who was in trouble, who gets going again. Joe Murray from Kildare in the Avenger, the man in trouble, and obviously he's got some kind of electrical or fuel starvation problems, I would think. That's Dave Foley, number 42, who spins it and hits the front. The Clonmel man there in big trouble, and at losing an awful lot of time, urgently needing spectators to give him a push. So Dave Foley and Patrick Kilfeather there braking furiously and really using up a lot of rubber and a lot of time, and that has cost them dearly on the early stages of this rally. David Foley, the sponsor of the Foley Championship, getting very much in our pictures there as another one of the very fleet little Opel cadets comes along. That's PJ Murphy from New Ross. Probably Fergal Ife and his sister, number 38, indeed it is. Very experienced drivers from Leeslip. And who says the Mini's dead? Going in great style, the triplex car, number 34. And that's meant to be a front-wheel drive car doing very much rear-wheel drive antics. Seamus Howley. Vauxhall running fairly far down the field at number 52. And this is Eddie Hill. Rather shiftless headcloth, trying extremely well. And that must be putting up respectable times. John Delahunt from Rossgrave. And the silent, much more standard cadet comes into view. Number 40, there are 5 runners in all in the Opel Cup. That's John Carroll from Dublin. The Avenger getting the power down there, number 43, Endon Nolan from Carlow. Sweet sounding motor car. Number 41, Gerard Halley from Clonmel, a very nicely prepared 1600 Escort, which is getting a bit of a shaking as it goes up the hill. The little Sunbeam, number 55, very quickly into view, John Sheehan from Clonmel, and he's lying first in Class F in the Foley Championship. Oh, the little Renault Gordini going beautifully down. And that's certainly one of the most spectacular downfield runners we've seen from me. To horsepower, we eagerly await the first runner, which is just coming down towards us now, the Vauxhall HSR Chevette of Joe McHale, and it's very wide, and we're expecting this to happen here. The Midland Tire Service sponsored Escort, and this is the trouble, they can't see the exit of this corner, and you can also see the traction problems as they get up over the hill. Second car down towards us, and how's he going to negotiate this one? And he's already had problems. You can see the damage on the outside. It's Hugh O'Brien. Hugh O'Brien, who we saw on an extremely hairy run in the first stage that we covered. And that wing badly bent, but obviously not affecting the handling. AJ Keating comes down in the G3 Escort. All in one piece so far, very sideways as it comes into the corner. Throws it round beautifully and misses. Losing a lot of time, and it's going to be a very slow exit up the hill. Well, that was really nice up to one stage when he just got it too sideways and lost a lot of time. And this is the Chevette of Tommy Doherty. Tommy coming around, and once again, big problems. He's done exactly what we saw happen earlier on. And that's a lot of time lost there for Doherty. And this corner really presenting a lot of problems. Escort RS 1800 coming very quickly into the number 25. Peter McCullough, once again, he gets on the inside of the corner and exited up the hill. And a lot of the top runners running out of order here, but this is Lyons from Limerick, number 7. And he actually comes to a halt now. And really this hairpin is proving to be utterly disastrous for many of the top runners. This is the little Toyota Starlet, indecently quick and smoking a lot. George Robinson and Dermot Carey, and we wonder how much further that car is going to get. An Avenger coming very slowly, minus wing, and he's really been in the wars. And in fact, yes, indeed, it is Ned Flavin, last year's winner, and Ned Flavin obviously not going to take it second in a row this time, having lost the wing in an earlier incident and really taking it very handily, and rather sadly disappearing out of our sight. This is Mike Patterson getting used to the Mill Street car, and we notice he's had time to put the Ears number plate on the back of the car in last minute preparation. Running late at this stage are Frank Maher and Sean Murphy. We still haven't seen them, but here's a very fast man indeed. Coming down into the hairpin, Frank Waters with Tom Callahan alongside, and he takes the wide line and gets a lot more traction as he leaves the hairpin. Jim McDonald rolls the car right round, almost through 180 degrees, and how we're missing the stones, I'll never know. The airy sunshine, the spectators wait for the next one, and it's number 21. Kennedy. Again a Vauxhall HSR Chevette, heading up the mountain. Slieve Le Mans looking its very best as the large crowds bask in the Tipperary sunshine this afternoon. Almost reminding you of safari conditions. Number 16, attempts to attack the cameraman, and this position, Vincent Mead, in a very aggressive mood. Number 20, and he nearly goes straight on, obviously having great problems. Joe Butler, the Carrick and Suir man, in his Cadet. Approaching very fast, 22, handbrakes, and it nearly comes over to John Lambert. '94, a very late entry. That's the car of Ian Greer, who has little experience in the forest, but certainly taking to them well. Nice
stuff indeed. Number 24, John Hennessy and Robert Kennedy. Eamon Poland, without too much fuss, just does it perfectly and makes the maximum use of his Sunbeam TI. Taking it very quickly. And really going down a safe road. Number 32, Patrick Keeley and Oliver Keeley. P.J. Murphy demonstrates the problems with front-wheel drive when trying to get out of a hairpin. David Foley, the sponsor of the championship, who got things much more correctly that time. Begley goes all over the place, having come all the way from Derry to compete. John Delman, who's
place and good placings that I wanted. You know, so I haven't really been going that hard up to the last stage, and I had to go on the last stage, alright, and I enjoyed it.
But now there's a Mr. McCullough, I think, is it really pressurising you at the moment of it?
That's right, we're not too positive on times, but I think we'd have enough going into the last two stages, but they're short to hold it.
AJ, you haven't been out of the wars either today.
No, it's stage 2 again, same problem. We lost quite a bit of time there. We got stuck behind Joe and Frank Marr, and after that we took quite a bit of time to pass Frank Marr. He had an engine problem we couldn't get past.
You're being very polite about this now. I know there's a little bit of anger in there.
A small little bit, but these things happen.
You're looking for Frank at the moment.
Well, I mean, we could be fighting for the top, but now we're in third, I think. But still, it's Shell Sport Championship points, and that's the important thing. We won't get too angry over it, you know.
Right, we'll do Peter McCullough now. Hugh, we don't even know if you're still in the rally at this stage.
We're still going, but we're very far back. On the second stage we got a puncture and we stopped to change it, but by that time it had the brake pad box, so we did a stage with no brakes as well.
It's not very good in forests.
No, we must stop 6 or 7 minutes, so
yeah.
We're not.
What about that nasty little bit of alteration on the wing there?
That was an even worse episode. Whenever we got the tyre change, we didn't know that there was no brakes on it until we came to the next bend. Frank Marr was stopped on the outside of it, and he got us round it, so we had it off him.
Very kind of him to stop there for you.
Problem.
Is Flint still talking to you?
You can apologise to Frank for it. Oh, he's still talking to me.
Mike, you've had an unfortunate trip to Ireland this time.
Well, not really. These things happen, you know. We did have an unfortunate incident last night when the pulley came off the crank on the G3. We hope there's no damage to it, but there's no chance of replacing it whatsoever. So very kindly, Barry Duggan went back to Mill Street and brought out the car he used on Galway for me to use.
And how are you enjoying it?
Very good. I am enjoying it. It's the lanes are narrower than I thought they were going to be. In England, the forests are much wider and sweeper. These are very narrow and tight. So it's quite good. A bit like some of the Welsh lanes that we use in night rallying.
Yes.
So it's very good.
Yeah. Peter, you're one of the surprises certainly of this event. You're absolutely flying.
Well, I'm not. I'm usually going as hard, only they just don't seem to realise it.
Yeah.
I've always went as fast.
You're always quick in the forest.
I never do tarmac. Only forest. It's all I'm any good at.
Well, now we reckon you're lying in second place, and you're trying pretty hard to catch at the moment, are you?
No, I went off for a minute on that last one. I won't catch. James Doherty now, too short now to the end.
So it's a coast home. You'll be happy with second.
I'll be happy. I have to be happy with second. That's all it's for.
Frank Waters making pleasant music in the Avenger. The field is late on this one, but this is Kennedy, number 21. He must surely now be in the top 10. John Lambert is entertaining us all day in this fashion with a very spirited drive. And another one of the Sunbeams goes through. For John Hennessy, it's been a very pleasant day, and even time to hoot at your friends. And this is Joe McHale, who's running late on the circuit, but problem. Joe, who's been complaining about the handling of the Chevette since his accident in Wicklow. Ian Greer approaches in the Ascona. Very gently home. The Opel Ascona 200, not 400 as it looks. Edmund Boland. A happy little stop by with a slight misfire, unfortunately. John Delahan, still going. TJ Murphy, and the leading on the road, certainly, amongst the Opel Cup runners. And Edmund Nolan dies in front of us. What a way to finish this rally. The car, misfiring badly as it came up the hill, has now come to a very frustrating halt. Liam Clark alongside him, this Carlo crew, is pushed backwards and then the car started on a wave. Very, very touch and go whether that crew can reach the finish. Tom Hackett takes the wide line. We get a nice wave from John Keane. John Sheehan really getting the axle trap as he heads up the hill. Richie Carrick comes into the head. Gerald Halley from Clonmel. Gareth Baker. John Carroll, and again there's problems with gear selection this time. A rather slow exit from the hairpin, and something you don't need in a Group N car. Joe Murray from Kildare in his Avenger 1600. So as the darkness begins to descend here on the final stage of the evening, and the spectators drift home, everybody's had an excellent day and a very encouraging first round of the Shell Sport Championship, and indeed the second round of the Foley Championship. The late runners are still coming upon us. And as we look back down the forest, we see the rider great grin indeed from his co-driver, William Walsh. Tom Sheehan and William Walsh approach. Outside of their car. Richie Cohen goes right out into the greenery. Todd Lacey this is. A little bit hard on the gearbox, Pat. Vincent Cochran this is. And here comes the sponsor of the Foley Championship, David Foley. Can he get around this time? He very nearly spins it again, but just keeps the tail winding as it climbs up the last forest of the day. David Foley then, number 42. Sean Doyle. Puts on a great show for us in the dying moments of this rally. Sean Blake disappearing up amongst the trees.